Be honest right now, what motivates you? If you had to ask yourself, okay, why am I working hard? Many young guys will actually give such a shitty answer, even though they think they're being smart. Many people will say, I'm doing it for myself. I don't care about anyone else. I don't care about girls. I'm doing it for myself. I go to the gym for myself. I'm not doing it to get girls. I'm not doing it for my family. I'm doing it for myself. That's the mindsets that so many guys have, even hard-working, somewhat strong and traditional guys have. And it always blows my mind because I'm just thinking, like, you don't even realize what's happening here. This is not your original thought. This is the brainwashing from like the Jeffrey propaganda out there to be more of an individual. Because what would high testosterone, like alpha male type of guys 100 years ago, gentlemen, have said to this question, why do you work hard? Would they have said, oh, I'm just doing it for myself. I don't care about anyone else. Really imagine that. Imagine there's a guy in like a full-on suit with the little hat and stuff 100 years ago, high testosterone. You shake his hand and he almost like crumples your fucking low test hand. And you ask him, why are you working so hard? His answer is just going to be one word: family. I'm doing it for my wife. I'm doing it for my children. And yet in the modern day, we think we're based guys by saying like, oh, well, I don't care about doing it for girls. When in actual fact, yeah, sure, don't do it for degeneracy, fine. But how about you keep in mind your future wife? How about you keep in mind your future children? Maybe this is why you're struggling with motivation so much, and this is why so many guys are purposeless, because they're just doing it for themselves. And when you're doing it for yourself, you're not that motivated, you're not that disciplined. What percentage of the time do you actually want to go and do the hard work? If you really think about the hard work, not like, going to the gym is fun for a lot of us guys, but like the hardest part of your work, maybe it's studying, maybe it's like, for me, it's like recording videos. What percentage of the time do you actually go and do it, or do you want to do it? Maybe like 10%, 15%, 20%. And so if you're only doing it for yourself, then it becomes much harder to be motivated to do it. And then when you don't need the rewards of it anymore, it stops. So for example, let me tell you my story, right? When I am in this sort of selfish little modern day individual mood of just thinking about my own life, I find it much harder now where I am in life to go and like do that hard work. Let's say, for example, going to the gym and recording these videos, because I don't really need it for myself anymore. It's like I have enough muscle that I feel pretty nice. Like I feel happy with my physique. I have enough success and money where like I can buy anything I want. And so if I was just doing it for myself, it's like I've had this massive rut of demotivation recently. And I've still been fairly disciplined, but it's just I've not wanted or cared to do any of this extra work because I've not needed it. And it was just hit me like literally earlier this morning where I just thought like, why have I been so selfish thinking about only myself when I could also think about the other people that I could do it for? And suddenly I woke up and all the tasks that I've been procrastinating on, I did this morning. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. and I did it in the sort of the feel of love for other people. I woke up and like, instead of me thinking like, oh man, I've got to record, but since I only record for myself, I don't really feel like it, so I'll do it some other time. I woke up with the thought of like, I've got to record videos and do a live stream, not for myself, but for you, for the young men around the world who actually need some help, who could use some advice from someone who actually like wants the best for you rather than some bullshit system that wants you to act like a little feminine pussy. And so I woke up and I've checked off everything that I needed to do today. It's 6 a.m. I woke up 3 hours ago. It's 6 a.m. and I've finished working for today. 6 a.m. I've already finished what I needed to do today because I woke up in the light of like wanting to help and serve other people. So this idea of like, oh, well, I'm just doing it for myself. I don't care about anyone else. I'm not doing it for girls. I remember how many guys used to criticize me when I was first starting off in my fitness journey. And I said it like outwardly saying like, yes, I'm lifting weights to attract girls. And so many guys thought that was weird to say. I remember when I would post about it on social media, like before I was a YouTuber, I'd post onto Reddit, and people would say like, oh, it's a bad thing that I had this external motivation that I wanted to lift weights so that I looked good and that I was more like attractive and I could be a better partner and more disciplined in a relationship. And people thought that was a bad thing. And yet all the guys who had their own selfish source of motivation, they end up getting complacent. How is it a bad thing if you thought to yourself, I'm training hard for my future wife. So that, because quite frankly, I'm pretty sure that she'd still want me to look sexy. That's not a bad thing to say. I'm training hard so that I can play with my children. I don't even have children, but I'm training hard for them just in the future. Imagine if I was like not going to think about that. And then this is the plight of most guys, that they turn like fat and ugly when they're 35 years old because they've only been doing it for themselves. But then their own level of self-care and standards and respect starts going down naturally over time when you only think of yourself. So why don't we try this for today? Why don't you just think to yourself, what is the hard task that you've got to do later today? The really hard task that you might not feel like doing. And what if you just did it in the love of someone else? Maybe it's your future wife, maybe it's your future children, maybe it's if you've got a current wife or current kids, that's amazing as well. Maybe it's your family, maybe that hard task like, going to work or studying. Maybe instead of trying to think to yourself with the selfishness of like, yeah, I'm just doing it for myself, I don't really feel like it. Maybe you think about your mother and you think, you know what, I'm going to study for 2 hours today for my mother. And just think about how much more like energy and love and focus you're going to bring to that, commitment and dedication and discipline and responsibility. I think a man should have this pressure where he keeps in mind like the people who rely on him. I think this is the way that you develop as a man, because I'm going to be honest, right? This like happiness kind of, don't care about anyone else, just focus on yourself kind of mindset. I've had that recently and it's so fucking boring. It's boring when you live like that, because you feel like you've got a lack of energy. You feel like you've got a low testosterone, where you're just like, oh, well, what do I want to do for myself today? Like, I'll go eat and I'll wake up late and, I'll go watch something on YouTube and I'll go eat something which, tastes good on my tongue because it's really sweety, but it's afterwards I feel like shit when I've ate it. And then, I'll just go just waste time and scroll on my phone and watch more shit. When you're only doing things for yourself, you just end up wasting away, and it's such a dry, dull life, which it's like you have no zest, no male aggression to your life. I don't ever want to go back to that. I want to always be like almost like a servant of others that I love, that I care about, because that's where that energy comes from. That's where like suddenly your eyes open before your alarm goes off in the morning, and you're like, this work is important. Other people rely on me. The exact moment this happened for me, if you're interested, was I've been in almost like this complacent zone for the last like few weeks or a month or so, because I've achieved like all the goals that I set out to a few years ago. And I'm making so much money in my business where like money doesn't mean anything anymore. Like literally everything is for free now, apart from like, big purchases like cars, houses and stuff. That's definitely like still like expensive for me. But day to day, like even fancy restaurants, I haven't looked at the price of anything for literally like longer than a year. So it doesn't even feel like money is something that I've got to work hard for. It literally feels like everyone just gives me stuff for free because it's just like an unlimited card because we make a lot of money in this business, right? And that's actually made me feel very complacent in life, like because I've just got what I wanted and I've been bored with it. Think about that. Like I achieved the goals and it's been boring because there's been nothing to like work hard for. When I ask myself like, what do I want out of life and everything? The answer is like, it's always such a low level of like desire, of ambition, of hard work. And it's just like lethargy. It's just like, being sat around watching fucking YouTube videos and stuff. But when you ask yourself, what would my family want? What are ways that I could help them that they don't even realize? Suddenly it's like your desire to work hard fucking shoots through the roof, because how much money I need is literally just like a few thousand a month. I'm a simple guy. I wear like the same fucking clothes and stuff. I'm a simple guy, right? So I feel like I've got unlimited money because I make a lot of fucking money, right? But when I think about my entire family and I think I could free them all from the financial chains of the system, that I could, not even my family, close family, but like all of my relatives in Pakistan, I could free them all. Everyone, I could get them like advanced healthcare, customized supplements, healthy food. My future family, like we could have a beautiful house which has, it's perfectly optimized for like health. There's no fucking microplastic estrogenics in there. We've got a perfect sauna, ice tub. It's not like, I'm not being totally materialistic, but these things have like a really good value of like, having that in your house, and you've got the highest quality food and supplements and healthcare and everything. Now it's like, oh shit, like, come on, now I'm waking up thinking, damn, like there's something to work hard for. So I think it's actually a good thing to keep in mind the people that you want to work hard hard for, to keep in mind the purpose, the mission, the cause, the movement that you want to like sacrifice some of this comfort for. Would you agree with me? If you only focus on yourself, you would literally just waste away just playing fucking video games, wouldn't you? It was when you started to think of other people, that's when you got on self-improvement. It was when you started to be motivated by girls, that's when you got into the gym. And it's okay to admit this because it's getting you to be productive. You don't want to have a degenerate motivation. You don't want it to be like, yeah, I'm working hard just so I can fuck as many girls as possible and take drugs, fine. You don't want to do that. But when you make it more of a positive motivation, like, yeah, I'm working hard for my future wife and my children, working hard for my family. Just notice yourself today. You're going to go through today with a lot more of this like male aggression zest. And if you want, on the main channel, so, you know, this is my second channel we're watching on right now, but on my main channel, if you click on like the live stream tab, I just did like a quick like 20-30 minute live stream this morning where I spoke about this live and I was asking questions and everything. So maybe you'll be interested in that.
You might think that becoming a man who's worthy of attracting a 10 out of 10 woman requires having it all. You might need money, status, and fame. Or maybe you think it's impossible for you to actually attract women given how today's dating culture is like. But the quickest way to truly attract a high-quality woman is much easier than you think it is. By avoiding the bad habits that turns women off, and by doubling down on the good habits that turns them on, you'll find yourself attracting so many more women than usual. If you want the cheat codes to do this for yourself, scroll down to the description of this video, go click that top link to get my newest dating guide. This is exclusive content that I'm giving away only to those guys who have got burning desires to improve their dating life. I'm making it private because I don't want the algorithm to oversaturate this technique. So if you're curious in learning some of the biggest secrets that I've found in dating, go click the top link in the description right now.